Hello my viewers, welcome back to the channel. By the video title, you know what this video is about. aewdynamite review. This is July the 1st, and it was a crazy show. Very crazy show. As you've seen the last thing that happened, Kenny Omega accepting MJF. I'm not saying like that, MJF's challenge. And if he loses, he can never compete for the world title again. Just like Cody Rhodes did when he tried to pit down the line. I think it was against Jericho, if I'm mistaken. Is that against Jericho? I think it was against Jericho. And then just like him and Adam Page did against, MJF in that death match, and he fell short and he can never challenge for the world title again. Kenny Omega's doing the same thing. Now we'll see if Kenny Omega can defeat MJF like that, because he could lose like that. But I think you want to rewrite some wrongs, because remember last time, like I mentioned last week, how he mentioned, because I feel like his character kind of feeling that a little bit. He's like, hey, I won the world title last time. He was evil. When we were with the Elite, Adam Cole was there, and the Young Bucks, all those guys was there, Don Callis and stuff. They cheated to win. I think he stabbed Moxley in the head with a screwdriver, and he won in a way that was like dishonorable. He want to win the world title this time differently. He's a different variation of himself. He's back to being the Kenny Omega we all know most of his career. So I think it gonna mean a lot for him next week. Everything on the line to go out there. MJF gonna use every trick in the book. He defeated Mark Briscoe in the opening contest for the World Championship match they had that Mark Briscoe earned after winning the Death Doors match at Forbidden Door. And it's gonna be crazy. If Kenny Omega can defeat MJF, and then all in season kind of heating up too. It's getting very cool. But if he can beat MJF, we can get Ospreay versus Omega 1-on-1 for this. Would be like they fought a few times. They fought in PWG. New Japan had a tag match before times, and they fought in AEW a few times as well and stuff like that. And they fought in Japan. Remember that match where Kenny Omega went to Japan, defeated him like that for the IWGP US Championship. So they had some good matches, of course, overall like that. But this right here be different like that. It'd be both of them. Kenny Omega kind of in the twilight of his career. I still can go with the best of them. And then Will Ospreay is in the prime, big time prime of his career like that, and he's looking to get his first world title, get a taste of being world champion in AEW. I don't think Will Ospreay has ever won a major world championship on American soil. He's been IWGP world champion in New Japan, and probably won some British world titles and stuff like that. But I don't think he never won a world title on American soil like that. Being world champion in AEW, like in a major promotion like this, it'd be different like that for him. So we'll see if he can finally accomplish that, or if MJF goes on and win this, and he'd be the big evil like that to go against Ospreay. He defeated Ospreay before, and Ospreay defeated him before, including that match he had at Wembley like that. So we'll see what happened with the match. Now I was surprised too by the TBS championship match that happened, the Survival of the Fittest. I thought Persephone was actually going to win that. Maybe she might come back around to win it. They might do like a match between Shida, Stat, and Persephone like that. But I thought Persephone would actually win the TBS title. I feel like that would have been perfect time for her to do it. She did tag Chris Statlander to cause her the match, so maybe a robbery with that will happen. Some different things that can continue going on. But they're going to have a casino gauntlet match for the women next week, and the winner gets a title shot. That could be Willow Nightingale coming back and get an opportunity to fight against Tekla. She missed out on the Owen Hart Cup tournament, but get an opportunity to fight against Tekla and maybe win, and she still get her moment at Wembley, and it'd be Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes. And Willow Nightingale has beaten Mercedes before to win the TBS championship, taking it from her like that, ending her reign. So it could definitely happen like that again. You never know like that. So we'll see what kind of goes on. But yeah, it's gonna be very crazy to see everything how it pans out. We've seen Jay White come out there and cut a promo. He was talking about Will Ospreay, still calling Will Ospreay a fraud and everything as well, and discuss the Death Riders, because he's like, the Death Riders, now do I say like the storylines always get like that when it's like you use logic, because of course some people the Death Riders might didn't jack them up too much, but like Will Ospreay, remember he first came back and he was attacking the Death Riders. The Death Riders might be good guys now, but at one point they was terrorizing people, and Will Ospreay has kind of joined them a little bit. Moxley gave them the Death Rider tag thing, saying that you can be one of us like that. So I think the Death Riders and Ospreay got a different relationship now, which is still crazy. They tried to break his neck, and now he's working with them. But yeah, Jay White was like, hey, the Death Riders, when I was left, the Death Riders were terrorizing everything, and now and people are like loving what they're doing a little bit, so it's a little different. But I think we'll see, of course, the Dogs and the Bang Bang Gang be a focal point or time to come a little bit. David Finlay, and, you know, and Jay White go way back. So we'll see what happened with those two. Their conclusion here in AEW. But I think Jay White is going to be back in the world title picture, probably eventually as well. But I think maybe first stop might be the Continental title, because he still owes Jon Moxley a match like that. They still owe each other like a battle like that. We've seen them, you know, in New Japan. They had some stuff, some battles there, a little bit like that, little things going on right with that. I believe that was him in that when they had that. No, I messed that up. That wasn't him. That was because it was Finlay. I think it was Finlay, Ospreay, and Moxley. Not Jay White. I think it was Ospreay and Moxley. They was fighting for the U.S. title in Wrestle Kingdom once. No, I think it was the U.S. title. It was one of the titles they're fighting in Wrestle Kingdom, or the Global Championship, whichever one it was. Like that, but I think Jay White definitely has some unfinished business with Jon Moxley though, fully, and we could see that be something, you know, later down the line. We could see maybe that happening for the Continental title. That'd be cool, but it's gonna come down to a lot of different things, because what if MJF, what if Will Ospreay goes on to Wembley like that, and what if the Death Riders cost them like that? You never know. I don't trust the Death Riders too much, like fully. What if they cost them the title? Now, they've been helping them a little bit, but what if Ospreay declines their invitation to join them, and they go out there and they cost them the title? So a lot of things can happen. Like there's a lot of different scenarios, different storylines going on. So we'll see what kind of happens to everything. But next week gonna be crazy. They have Kyle Fletcher versus Kanisa Takesha for International Championship. You have the Bang Bang Gang and Copeland tomorrow for Thursday Night Collision, special showing on Thursday. They're gonna be teaming up to go against STP. We're gonna be Maya World is gonna be in action versus Julia Hart. They're gonna be fighting to see who be number 2 in the Casino Gauntlet. 'Cause, you know, you want to be early in Casino Gauntlet because you're getting the match fast before all those people get in the ring. So we'll see what happens with that. But they're gonna have some crazy matches next week. Casino Gauntlet, Kenny Omega versus MJF for the world title. If Kenny loses, he can never challenge for the world title again. But if MJF do lose and Kenny goes on to, you know, be world champion, I wonder what MJF would do after, because he had a lot of different people that hate him. A lot of people that hate him still, of course, as well. Andrade and all the different individuals. Kevin Knight Kevin Knight was mostly gunning after him, mostly because he had the world title. But there's a lot of people that hate him for who he is a little bit too. So we'll see a lot of things going on with him. But yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be very crazy to see what happens. If Kenny Omega lose this, he gets a chance for the world title again. That'd be different. That'd be very different, because we'll see 3 people that fell to that like that, and 3 of those people being in the elite, which is making it crazy like that. I don't think, and the Young Bucks, I don't know if they ever challenged for the world title. I don't know, because they in tag team division, but that'd be very crazy. But we'll see what happens. But all I got for this video is this. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like, subscribe for more content. Let me know down below what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Peace out.